I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the boss of Darting Promotions, Mark Pritchard. Thanks for the time, Mark. How are you doing?
All right, very good, Mel. Very good, thank you.
Now, we'll come on to talk about your latest signing to your stable a little bit later, but first a little bit about you. Where did your interest in darts first come from?
Darts is something I've been interested in for quite a few years now. It was a little bit of a strange starting, really. I very first got involved with a local player to me, to the name of Jeff Baden, who basically just had a fallout with his manager at the time. I said, look, don't give up on it all. I'll take it on from here and we'll just go from there. And then it just went on, to be honest. I started to enjoy it more and more, and from there we went on to sign Luke Woodhouse and went on from there, really.
Yeah, as I mentioned, you're the man in charge of Darting Promotions, the management company that looks after the likes of Luke Woodhouse, Yella Clarkson. Is that how Darting Promotions started then, from that player and moving forward from there?
It is, yes. Yeah. As I say, it really started to get a little bit more serious when we signed Luke. And then obviously when he got his tour card and got onto the Pro Tour, it basically went from there then, and I just thought, well, this is something that I'd like to, really carry on doing, and started to look around at other players as well.
Before last weekend, it's fair to say the most high-profile name in your stable was Yella Clarkson, the former BDO World Champion. What's the process like in signing one of the top players?
Different, I think, is the best way to put it. Very different. But look, these lads they're great lads. They're brilliant lads to deal with. And to be honest, it's from the players right down at the development to a level that we've got right the way to the top, obviously including Michael now as well. They're just really, really good lads, and it's something that I really look into, as to join the team, really, because, we've got a certain sort of ethic that we like to, carry on with right the way through the team, and I think we've got that.
We had Yella on our show just after his quarter-final at the UK Open last year. Obviously a big season coming up for him, down in 56th in the rankings heading into this year at the moment. Do you feel like 2021 could be the year that we see Yella make a sustained return to form?
I do, yes. Last year was difficult. It was difficult for a number of reasons, really. I think obviously he had his run at the UK Open, and then after that, then with obviously COVID hitting everything and things like that as well, it was very difficult for all the lads. It's very difficult for all the players, full stop, to try and get consistency and things like that, and into the game with stop-start season and everything. But it was just one of them things. But yeah, I do this year. I think he's now got a set of darts which he's very, very happy with. And yeah, I do. I really think we'll see a big turnaround for him this year.
Good to hear. Well, another of your players that we've mentioned, Luke Woodhouse, up into the top 50 now. What's the next step for him in his progress in the PDC?
He's just got to carry on doing what he's doing, to be honest. He has been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. From the very first day I started to look after him, he's just worked and worked and worked on his game, and he's now really starting to reap the rewards from it. How far do I think he can go? Who knows, really? That depends on, that really depends on Luke. But I honestly think he's comfortably a top 32 player. I think that I think that'll be his aim this year, to really push on and break into that top 32.
Probably the veteran player in your stable is Wayne Jones, who we saw get a win at the World Championship last month. What are his goals for the season?
To get to the end of the year and to just keep his tour card first and foremost. To break into the top 64. He's just, Wayne's Wayne, to be honest with you. He's Mr. Consistent, he's Mr. Reliable. He had a couple of years where he lost his tour card, and then, he was on the verge of giving it all up, and I managed to talk him round, and we did it another go, and away he went from there, and he's not looked back, to be honest with you. He just turns up and does what Wayne does, and he's so good to have around. He really, really is.
And we have to mention Callum Rita too. He's just won the PDC's Young Player of the Year award. He got nominated for our awards that we did, the Young Player of the Year. Got a lot of votes in that from our listeners as well. How excited are you guys about Callum's future in the game?
Yeah, very, very excited about him. was a tough year for Callum. We had some bad news at the start of the year, but he's got his head down, and he's really done himself and his family proud last year. I think everyone knows that the talent the lad's got, and again, exactly the same as Luke. Really, he just keeps on. He's just got to keep on ticking along, and he'll just improve. And I think we've got some hopes for him, definitely.
As a management company, what have been the main challenges over the last 10 months while we've had this virus? We've seen the PDC get events back on quite frequently since July, but what's it been like arranging travel, hotels and things like that for your players?
Testing, very, very testing. We especially the travelling, if there was any travelling to do abroad, etc. We had the two lads, Craig Galliano and Justin Hewitt, playing for Gibraltar in the World Cup of Darts. And that was a task alone, just to get them from Gibraltar to here to Austria was just it was a difficult task in itself. But look, we've just got to sit here and just applaud the PDC, the PDPA, and everyone involved really for getting darts on. So, if they can do that, then, the least we can do is sit here and make sure we put in our time to make sure the lads have got the best to actually get them there and to play in the events.
Definitely. Well, let's talk about your new signing then. At the weekend, you announced Michael Smith has joined the team at Darting Promotions. We know Michael went solo in 2020 after a long time with his previous management. So how did the move to you guys come about?
I've always got on with Michael really well. And obviously, he left his previous management company and, he was looking after himself last year sort of thing. But I think, there's a lot to organise, for the lads and things like that, and especially when you're someone like Michael Smith, who's top 10 in the world, he's Premier League and different things like that. And I think I think he's just thought, right, I wanted to take the pressure off his shoulders, because there's enough pressure on these lads when they go to all the TV events and the Pro Tours, etc. The last thing they need to be thinking of is booking flights, booking hotels, organising travel, etc., etc. They shouldn't, they don't want to be thinking about stuff like that. And I just think, now it might just be that step that he needs to take him to that level of winning what he will, hopefully be winning.
Yeah, and it's obviously a big coup for you guys, bringing in a top 10 player and someone who not long ago was in the top 4 or 5 in the world. How excited are you to have Michael in your stable of players now?
Yeah, extremely. I think it's a boost for everyone, really. It's been nice having players, like Callum and Luke and Yeller, and and watching them do what they do, and watching them improve and go from the starting point up to where they are. But obviously, Michael, with all his experience of big major finals and things like that, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. The young lads who we've got on the development tour are they're all excited as well to have him on board, because it's just, I think it's just one of them things. It'll give everyone else a boost, as well as obviously, hopefully we'll help Michael push on and do what he's hopefully going to do.
Yeah, it's not long before we see Michael back on our screens, the Masters this weekend, perhaps a more important event than usual with that 10th Premier League spot still vacant. How is Michael feeling about this weekend?
Great, absolutely great. He's looking forward to getting back to it now. The breaks that the lads have, he's nice to have a break, etc. But it's a little bit different this time. Normally a lot of the players will try and get away on holiday, etc., etc. But obviously with the times now, it's just not possible. So he's kept himself busy. He's been hitting the practice board hard, and he's feeling good. He's feeling very, very good. So fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes. The first event of the year, he's just always a tough one. The Masters can be a bit of a funny event, really. You've got all, the top players, they'll try your new equipment, etc., etc. So we'll just see how it goes. Look, Michael he'll go there and do what he does best, and that's play. That's play darts and win matches. And we'll just, all we can do really is take it from there, and we'll build for the rest of the year.
We all know the ability that Michael has, but yet to land that big title on the TV. We spoke a little bit about what Michael's going to bring to the stable, especially with the younger players that you've got. But what do you think you and the guys at Darting Promotions can bring to help Michael achieve those goals?
Well, I think, we do everything. I like to sit here and do everything for the players, everything. So all they've got to do now is practice and turn up at events and play darts. That's what they do. So, our aim is just to take every little bit of pressure off the players' back, financially, and of course, with organisation, etc. And, we just go from there, sort of thing. One thing I've never ever done with any of my players is sat there and said, look, I think you need to do this with your throw, I need to do this with your throw, because if I was qualified enough to tell a player that, I'd be up there playing darts myself. But, we sitting to the side of the stage, or, wherever we sit and watch, you do see things on the stage. Luke and Callum are a prime example when they've been coming through the rankings. When they first started playing, it was all huff and puff and throwing your arms around in the air on stage, etc. And, it's one thing that we try and say to the lads, look, try and bring that out of your game. Sometimes it's frustrating, but, don't let it eat at you, don't let it beat you. And just go from there. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this year. I really am. I think, with the way times are at the minute, it's really, really difficult for everyone. But, I know the lads have all been working hard. I'm really looking forward to it.
Brings us to the last question I had down here, which is to look ahead to 2021. And as we know, it's going to be a little bit longer before things get back to normality. But the PDC, they're going to be pushing on with events, which is great to see for us as fans and the players and everyone involved. But what are you most looking forward to in 2021?
I always start off from the very, from the youth players and work my way up, to be honest with you. The development tour players who we've got, Sean the Gret, Justin Hewitt and Craig Galliano from Gibraltar, Owen Maiden, Jack Mayle and Conor Pickett from over here in England. Yeah, I love the development tour, and it just gives me that little bit, of excitement, ready to watch them this year, because they're just progressing every time I see them. So I really look forward to watching them. As for the Pro Tour players, as I say, Wayne's first aim will be to break into the top 64. And do I think he can do it? I do, yeah. I really do. I think his consistency is good enough to get in there. I think, as you say, this is a big year for Yella, but I think you'll see that. I think you'll see some huge signs of improvement from Yella this year. I really, really do. And then Luke and Callum progressing all the way. Hopefully, Callum into the top 50, and then looking at the top 32, and Luke hopefully pushing towards the top 32. And Michael, let's hope we can break that duck of a first TV major. Yeah, and who knows, it could happen this weekend. Wish you all the best for your players for 2021. Congratulations again on the signing of Michael Smith over the weekend, and yeah, wish you all the best for what's coming up this year. Thank you very much, mate, and thank you very much for having me.